Hey, I'm Bob, totally blind since birth, into Power Rangers, got the Shout Factory box set in my hands yet again. We're talking about Season 2, Episode 4 today. This one's The Wannabe Ranger. It premiered on September 13th in 1994, or I guess you could call it Episode 64 overall, if you like that better. So, the Wannabe Ranger, along with the following two episodes we'll be talking about, next couple of videos, Putty on the Brain and Bloom of Doom, these three episodes were all available that fall wherever fine video cassettes from Saban Home Entertainment were sold. And this one was a lot of fun because, well, we get to see Zordon and he's about to temporarily de-ionize. It's not fun for Zordon, I guess. Due to a galactic imbalance in the alignment of planets in our solar system, Zordon's gonna de-energize, de-ionize, lose his powers for a short time. So the Rangers basketball game gets interrupted. At least I think they're playing basketball. And they teleport to the command center. Zordon lets him know what's going on right before he conks out. And when my buddies and I, as kids, watched this episode, we always wondered where Zordon went when this happened. I think we were thinking, so is it like, getting your wisdom teeth pulled? Do you go under? Do you have wacky, wonky dreams when you de-ionize if you're Zordon? Do you just hover around in limbo, bored, not being able to do anything for a while? What's it like? We were always fascinated with this morphin grid stuff. And of course, on the moon, Lord Zed senses that Zordon is gonna de-ionize. And I remember we were all fascinated with these little story bits, this little bit of history here and there that would occasionally drop, leading us all to think that Zed and Zordon had a past. They had a history together, just like Rita and Zordon had a history. We always got the sense that Zed and Zordon knew each other very well. I would go into an excited tirade as to how that's explored in the Boom Studios comic continuity, but I'm not going to do that today. It's pretty cool, though. Pretty cool. So Zed decides to cause trouble while Zordon is out of commission, and he uses a discarded gorilla costume that Zach had brought to his little cousin's birthday party. He creates the Primator or Primitar or Primator. I think it's pronounced three different ways, so you guys take your pick as to which one you like best. I don't know. I love this monster. I do believe he was voiced by Paul Schreier here in his first appearance. And my brother and I, we always laughed our heads off whenever he was on screen, because of all the monkey noises and the cackling and the screeching. So Alpha, he's all alone in the command center. He's bored. There's a kid named Dylan who's lost his mom, and I guess he's hanging out in the park. So Alpha, he decides to teleport there, and he calls himself Alpha Ranger, says he's going to go to the kid's rescue. And Bulk and Skull are there as well, and we get to see more of the we're going to find out who the Power Rangers really are plot point that was brought up in the Mutiny Parts 1 and 3. And they're only in the episode for just a couple of seconds because when Alpha touches down, they run away screaming. And I like this little scene that we get with Alpha and Dylan, the kid. And it's this really touching scene as to how Alpha, he's playing soccer with the kid. He doesn't get to get out very much at all. Sends a couple times. So it's kind of cool to see him out of the command center, even though he's not supposed to be out of the command center. He's supposed to be manning the computers, but well, he is, and he's enjoying himself playing soccer with the kid. And here comes Billy, quote unquote. We'll just call him Fake Billy because, of course, it's Primator. And he's quite upset with Alpha for leaving the command center, or so we're led to believe. And Alpha sees the Primator's true face. I think this monster has a weakness. So when he sees his reflection, he's not really able to hold his shape very well. And, well, he's busted and transforms back into his monkey self. And Alpha activates his self-destruct mechanism. And that causes Primator to run away. And I remember when I was a kid being a bit surprised that Alpha would have one of these installed at first, but then it made perfect sense, of course, because he's got all sorts of sensitive information stored within his files, I would imagine. And if it's going to be compromised in any way, of course he probably would initiate this self-destruct sequence. So he spends the episode there with the kid, and the kid's trying to figure out anything he can do in order to save his new pal. So you have Kimberly and Trini. They're hanging out in the youth center. Fake Zach comes up and says Tommy's losing his powers, so they're split off from the group. They head to track down Tommy. Of course, it is Primitar because he's drinking a banana shake after they leave, and he's cackling to himself in Zach's form. And well, there's no Tommy there, of course, but Lord Zed does send down putties. It's a very short putty battle, but I enjoyed it. Don't know what the heck happened, but I think Kimberly and Trini made short work of the Clod Squad in this episode. Might have only lasted like 30 to 50 seconds. It was a really short putty battle. They're ticked off at Zach when they head back to either the youth center or school. I'm betting it's the youth center. Yeah, pretty sure it's the youth center. And they all decide to teleport to the command center. They can't communicate with Alpha because, well, he's not there and he's hurting for certain. So when they get to the command center, Zordon is back. I guess the deionization didn't last that long. And they're given information concerning the monster, how he can shapeshift, so they morph into action, and Primitor, he is tricking them in every way he can, transforms into Trini, and Jason decides to initiate a little test, and, fake Trini decides to fight Jason, whereas the real Trini, she doesn't want to. Fake Trini's laughing maniacally. Everybody blasts her, transforms back into Primitor. And Primitor is a really fun monster. Yes, I wish Hasbro would make that in the Lightning Collection. I don't know how Hasbro could come up with some whacked out Ranger helmets that you could actually put on your Power Rangers or maybe a civilian Ranger or two if we ever get them. But it would be kind of cool to have some Ranger helmets or Ranger faces with just that little hint of Primitor beneath. I'm not sure how they could do that. Maybe somewhat of a transparent face with... I have no idea how that would look visually, but that would be kind of cool if we could get something like that in terms of some accessories for Primitor. He also fought with these big spear-like weapons, if I remember my brother's description of him correctly. It's been years. But, they have to go back to the command center and regroup because it's just crazy. And Zordon lets them know about him having that weakness where if he sees his reflection, he will transform back into himself. So Kimberly has a mirror, and the fight goes better when they get back. I do really enjoy this one bit where he turns into this Red Ranger, Green Ranger hybrid thing. He's not really able to hold his shape very well, and he's cackling like the insane monster that he is. You know how it goes. The monster is on the verge of being defeated. Zed throws his amazing growth grenade down. Monster grows. Thunder Zords are summoned. Dragon Zord is summoned. The monster goes down thanks to a slash from the Thunder Saber. I always loved the Thunder Saber in Season 2. It's one of my favorite finishing moves. The Rangers find Alpha. The self-destruct mechanism is disengaged. Dylan's mom shows up. I'm not sure how in the world he managed to separate himself from her, but you know how little kids are. They tend to do their own thing. Rangers go back to the command center, and the episode ends with everyone laughing at Alpha because, he's going to be grounded for a bit for leaving the command center. So, yay, punishment's hilarious. It was one of my favorite episodes, and I kind of chuckled at that a bit too, because Alpha was mostly disappointed that he wouldn't be able to play soccer for a while. So I guess he's taken up a new hobby. But yeah, what a cool episode. I loved all the shape-shifting bits going on. I think this was a really cool psychological warfare plot that Zed had orchestrated here. And my brother and I, we always thought whenever the monsters grew in Season 2 that they should actually sound like giants. So I remember us recording Primitor cackling and screeching. And I had this tape recorder that you could slow down the tape like a couple of octaves. It belonged to Library for the Blind, so we actually decided, okay, yeah, we're gonna make Primitor really sound huge. So we slowed him down, and he sounded more like a demented Darth Vader than anything. But it was hilarious. I wish I still had those tapes, and so I could kind of get some digital uploads to that stuff. But it was just kids fooling around with sound effects and things because we were both really big into that kind of stuff. Yeah, just fond and fun memory I have along with this episode. So I guess next time we'll be talking about Putty on the Brain. It's a very visual episode. Deals with a lot of putties too, so it's one of my favorites. Be here for that. May the power protect you. Have a great day, and watch out for shape-shifting monkey monsters. Not too pleasant there. Okay, hear you next time.